friends, and thank you for joining us for another episode of Fort Worth Roots. We do a morning show now. You've heard me talking about it, I'm sure, if you've been listening for any length of time. But Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, we do a morning show. We release it at 8 a.m., and it's just supposed to be a quick snapshot, 20 to 30 minutes of what's going on inside the Fort Worth community with call-ins from people just like you that have information they want to disseminate amongst the public. So if you have something that you want to get out, whether you're an artist, a musician, an author, and you got a gig coming up, you got an event, whatever it is, take an audio recording on your phone and email it to us, media@fortworthroots.com. And if that's too complicated, it doesn't sound as good, but you can also just pick up the phone and dial 817-988-1292. That is a Fort Worth Roots hotline. Leave us a voicemail and let us know what you got going on. We will play it on the next show. Monday through Thursday, we film it right there at Hoppin', the new place right next to Doc's Records that you need to go check out. Very excited about this place. Holly and Michael, wonderful local people that just really want you to come check out their new badass little spot. So, Hoppin's right next to Doc's Records off of Weisenberger Street. I believe it's 2608 Weisenberger. Easy peasy. We got a great episode for you today. Before we dive into that, I've already told you about the morning show, so we can stop droning on about that. But it is really, it's picking up popularity, and I appreciate you guys for making that part of your morning drive or whatever you're doing on the AM. And everybody that's called in, we appreciate you too. I want to tell you about a couple of sponsors real quick. The Davis Team. This is our option for real estate inside the Fort Worth area. You can go to yourdavisteam.com or call them at 817-755-0504. And they are not just there to sell and buy homes for you. They will answer any kind of property questions you have. More about our sponsors at the end of this, by the way, along with events and things. All the updates are at the end of the show. The Body Scrubbery. Our friend Michelle is ready to take care of you over there at her badass little spa. We've got some videos showcasing this place on our Instagram. Go check that out. The Body Scrubbery on all the social medias, and the website is thebodyscrubbery.com. And of course, our newest sponsor, Fort Worth Float Company. Find them on Instagram as FW Float Company. They specialize in providing sensory deprivation flotation tanks. And if you have never checked this out, you need to go experience this. I think they do 60-minute and 90-minute packages, various pricing. And anyway, they have two different tanks. One is a smaller one for an individual, and then they have a larger one, which you can use by yourself as well, but it's big enough for two people. It's massive, size of a room. Fort Worth Float Company meets everyone's floating needs, and they're located off of River Oaks Boulevard, right as you're coming into River Oaks if you're driving away from the military base. This is a really important episode for us because we love supporting these guys. We're honored that we get to be at so many events where they brought us along to be part of the experience. I think it's like 58, 68, something like that, where we had Tanya Houk on to talk about the Gladney Center for Adoption. And since then, we've done, I don't know, probably close to a dozen recordings with the Gladney Center and other local Fort Worth adoption agency, either advocates, organizations, and everything in between. CASA of Tarrant County, and many more that I can't remember right now off the top of my head. But anytime we get a chance to be a part of this community and help put a spotlight on what they're doing to help the kids here in Tarrant County and the greater Fort Worth area, we're here for it. So today we sat down at the Hulen Mall, and I actually had my number one, my primary co-host, Megan, was with us, and we got to sit down with a lady, don't even know if we got her last name, but Ashley is helping with this event that we went to out at the Hulen Mall, and has a little bit of advice and tells a little bit of her story inside the adoption process. So we were honored to be there. Thank you to the Gladney Center for Adoption. Thank you to the Heart Gallery of North Texas. That is enough talking out of me. Thank you all for being here, and let's start the show. Welcome back, everybody. We are here at the Hulen Mall. I've got my co-host, the lovely Megan, and our friend Ashley.
Hello.
Good morning. Good morning. And we are with the Gallery of North Texas. Heart Gallery of North Texas, part of the Gladney Center. Is that right?
Yes.
It's several organizations that are involved with the Heart Gallery, I believe.
Correct. Mostly Gladney kind of supports it, but yeah, it's Heart Gallery is all the children who are legally free for adoption. They're trying to kind of promote them.
Yeah, and we did this last year. Was it the same time frame?
No, I want to say...
Well, we did Heart Gallery, but this is totally different than what we were involved with last year.
Yeah, last year we just did it. It was here, but it was like a little adoption fair where they had the different agencies from North Texas that came, and people that wanted information could stop by and like get that for adoption. And I think it was spring or summer.
Yeah, I don't remember it being Christmas time frame.
I wasn't here last year, but I know Gladney became more involved with the Heart Gallery here recently, I think, over the summer. Okay. So I imagine that the events have changed a bit.
And what are we trying to accomplish today? This looks like y'all have got kind of a little store set up for the kiddos to walk through and kind of...
So it's just a chance for both the Heart Gallery kids as well as the kids who are in foster care, so ones that aren't necessarily available for adoption. But it's an event for them to come, get to have some holiday cheer. Yeah. There is a gift section where they can pick out their own gift, and that kind of takes a little bit of pressure off of those foster parents who are help care for them. But it gives them a chance just to play and be kids and do all that fun sort of stuff. They've got arts and crafts. They've got pictures with Santa. Those who are available for adoption, we do have where they're set up to do their Heart Gallery pictures, so we can get them up on that Heart Gallery page, get some updated pictures for them and help promote them and hopefully get them home to their forever families.
Yeah.
And you've got a Santa Claus and a Mrs. Claus in there somewhere.
We do. They're hiding in the back, but they're taking pictures. We got Santa's chair back there.
Yeah.
And there's a photo booth. The kids are having fun with that, putting on all the different props and decorating cookies and making the cutest little snow globe things that are all lighting up and, of course, feeding them all the sugar. So.
Yeah, we walked through there earlier, and I was like, oh, there's like cookies and cake and the little snow globes and games. I was like, there's so much stuff in here.
There's a tray of
super
fruit.
Cute.
There is a tray of fruit, but
This is a side note.
It's ballots.
Yeah.
This has nothing to do with what we're doing today, but I've got to know, and you might not have any details, but there was a second Santa that showed up earlier, and it looked like there was going to be some beef. You know anything about that?
I don't. I didn't see the second Santa, so I'm not sure.
It was so ominous. So, like, he just kind of wandered into our frame on the second level and then peered into the doors from up there on the rails as he clutched with his Santa Claus paws. And then he came down here, walked inside, and then came out, like, a minute later, grumbling to himself.
We'll figure this out.
I don't know. It sounds like maybe somebody booked two Mr. Clauses by chance.
That's what it looked like. That's what it looked like.
So, I'm glad I didn't have to figure that one out.
Hopefully he parked his 8 tiny reindeer close by. So, anyway. All right. So, Ashley, Tanya gave me a brief summary of what you've got going on. It sounds like you've been involved in the adoption journey yourself and are looking for an adoption situation.
Sure. So my husband and I, we moved to the Dallas-Fort Worth area about 6-7 months ago.
Okay.
So
where'd y'all move from?
We came from Abilene.
What? Okay. I went to Abilene High.
Gotcha. We're from Virginia originally, but we were in Abilene for a bit. And we were licensed foster parents there. And so, we had some foster kids with us and that sort of thing. But really what we want to do is expand our family. We have one child. He's 11. But more children, biological children, weren't in our future. So, we have room and love, and we want to give. Yeah. So we're in the process of getting licensed here because Abilene is Region 2. DFW is a different region, so we had to change agencies. So we're working on getting licensed here in DFW. Because you moved, you had to correct
kind of recertify yourself.
Yeah. Okay. So Abilene is Region 2, and they're under organization called To Engage. Okay. Whereas DFW is under, I think Dallas is Empower, but Tarrant County is OCOK. It's different guiding agencies. It's the agency that serves as CPS because CPS kind of privatized. So so we have to get licensed with OCOK. So we're in the process of doing that, and we're hoping to adopt actually a school-age child because our little one isn't so little, almost 11.
Yeah.
So we want, those school-age children who need a home, because unfortunately the older children don't get picked as much.
Yeah.
It's especially heartbreaking is seeing these adoption groups, and typically you'll see, a really young one that's 2 or 3 years older, and then maybe a 12 or 13-year-old.
A lot of sibling groups.
Yeah, sibling groups. What did I call it?
Groups.
No.
Yeah.
Like a Facebook group or like...
Yeah, so
sibling groups.
Lots of sibling groups, and that makes it hard because a lot of people do want younger children, or maybe they just don't want that many. It's hard for anybody to take on all of a sudden 3 kids or 4, or I know there's a couple in the gallery that are groups of 5.
Yeah, we saw one a while back. It was a group of 5 siblings, and I think the oldest one was 12 or 13, and the youngest one was 2. So it's a big span, and it's heartbreaking. And it's let's just get them all. We'll add on, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah, it's hard, and these children, they come with their own things. Not necessarily meaning that in a bad way, but
every human does, right?
Yeah, they come with their experiences and where they came from and what they came from, and so that can be a lot to take on just one, but to take on multiple and have to adjust to that, and then kind of reform for them and reform for your family, especially if you've already got children in the home. And then there are state limits on how many children you can have, how much space, and that sort of thing as well. So a lot of people don't have houses big enough, to allow for 5. So that makes it hard as well.
Yeah, and it's you feel bad. You don't want to break up the group. It's but with all those constraints, it's inevitable. Unfortunately, I feel like it's those situations.
And they're usually, if they post them as a group, then they've already made that kind of decision that they're not going to split them.
Okay.
So they usually, that's why you will see those younger children in those groups, because otherwise those younger children probably would get adopted fairly quickly. But then that leaves those older children to just kind of hang out and not.
Yeah. It's already so much separation, and then be torn away from your siblings. It's
a lot of trauma. So, we try to reduce that by keeping them together when feasible and appropriate for the children. Sometimes it's not, but, if they've got all 5 listed, then they've decided that they're not separating at this time.
That's good.
Now that you're going through the recertification for the new region that you're in, can you kind of walk us through what that means and what all is entailed with going through the process?
Sure. So the first step, anybody who is interested in foster or adopt or foster to adopt or anything involving that general area would be to go to an informational meeting.
Okay.
They have all sorts of them. Heart Gallery hosts them, or individual agencies will host them. And basically they just tell you what their agency is like, what the process looks like. There's usually a question and answer session, so if you have more specific questions regarding your family or your situation, they'll tell you what the requirements are, like if you have any sort of background concerns that might make you ineligible, or space concerns, or some of the agencies won't allow cohabitating adults. They have to be married, and some have particular rules about adult children in the home, and things of that nature. So they'll kind of go through all of that, and then once you've found an agency that seems to fit with you, that has kind of the philosophy you're looking for, some of them are more faith-based than others, and things of that nature, you would put in an application. It involves a background check and fingerprints and a health check and a TB test. There's training. Depending on your agency, it may be Zoom meeting training, or it might be in person, but that happens, over several weeks, couple of months. And then there's a home study where they come into your home and they're looking at, what does your home look like? Is it safety proof? Do you have
a home?
Yeah, of course. All of those things, and then they write up your home study where they talk about your history and why you would make a good family, and any concerns they may have had. So say you dealt with being a foster child yourself when you were younger, that's going to be in your home study, and they're going to talk about how that shaped you and how that makes you an eligible parent now, or what concerns that might bring. If you might have trouble with a certain type of child or something like that, or makes you especially good for certain children. Like myself, I'm a nurse, so a child with some medical needs is not going to be maybe as difficult for me as it might be for somebody who's never touched the medical world. And so then you do all that, and it goes to a review, and then they say, okay, well, we got to change this wording or that wording or whatever. And after a couple of weeks, they decide they like the wording, and it gets signed, and it gets stamped, and then you're licensed. But for most agencies, it takes about 90 days to, can be a little longer depending on how fast you get them all your paperwork and complete your training.
Yeah, I think that's what we had heard before. They were about 3 months or so from start to finish. And a lot of it, too, they were saying some of it's like on your pace, on how quickly you can go to meetings and trainings and stuff like that, too.
Yeah.
So.
I think most agencies shoot for 90 days, but it can be longer. So it just sort of, again, depends on how fast you can get all your documents. There's lots and lots and lots of paperwork. So getting all of that together.
Well, and I think, as we're talking about all these regulations and steps and hoops that you got to jump through, it sounds kind of prohibitive, but you got to do these things to protect the kids from being put in a situation that is going to land them back in the system, right?
Sure.
You want to make sure it's a good fit.
Well, and people say, well, look at where they came from. Of course, I'm better than that. Why do we need to jump through these hoops? But the first agency, when we were licensed before, they kind of said it as, you've got to be a super parent. You have to prove that you are the super parent so that you can bring this child who's already dealt with so much into your home and be prepared for that. And then the other way they would explain it is for your home is getting licensed almost as a child care facility, same as your child's daycare. So that's why you have so many requirements for the home setting itself, the space requirements, the safeties, and all of those sort of things as well. Yeah,
just can't have like weapons strewn about and easily accessible, and like water heater temperature, I think was another one, like hot water.
The water heater, most water heaters have regulators on them already, and they're usually fine. Weapons have to be stored locked, and it has to be separate from any ammunition, and they can't be stored with ammunition in them, and medications have to be locked, and certain medications have to be double locked, and depending on...
In Texas. This
is here. Huh. Yep, this is here. Let's see, I'm trying to think what other ones, depending on the age of children you're going to have in your home, things like outlet covers or safeties on your cabinets. You can't have toxic chemicals down where kids can get them, especially if you're going to have young children. Let's see, what else? If you are like a treatment home, so that means that you have children who have more severe behaviors and traumas going on, they have additional requirements. They may have things like special locks on the windows or on the doors because the children might be known to escape or try and run away and things like that. But yeah, the big ones are the firearms have to be stored locked with no ammunition in them. Ammunition has to be separated. Medications have to be locked, and chemicals like cleaning chemicals and things have to be put up.
Yeah,
so.
pretty basic.
Yeah, it's not too crazy.
Sensible stuff.
Yeah, some people may not want to do that, and that's okay. This may not be for them.
Right.
So.
So where are you at in the process? We just talked about this, didn't we?
So for us, we have decided on an agency here in DFW, and we are in the process of getting all of our paperwork together.
Right.
So hopefully, since we've kind of already done most of this, our process will be more quick.
Yeah.
I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah. You would think, a lot of the stuff like the training and background check, fingerprints, like all that's already been done. So
it's just getting all of that to the agency and them processing it. So we're hopeful to be licensed within the next couple of months, and then it's matching time. Because for us, we don't want to do the foster part. We did that. It really wasn't for us. Yeah. It is for some people. Some people are great. I know plenty of great foster parents, but sending them back home was hard for my family. Yeah. So we want to give a home to a child who needs one. There's plenty of those too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
for sure.
That's what we're hoping to do.
Well, thank you so much for doing this.
Of course, thank
for
you.
us. I'm really curious. How long were y'all in Abilene?
About 3 years.
Okay.
So.
And then before that, Virginia. What part of Virginia?
Actually, before that, Colorado. But
My goodness.
My husband and I were both born in Lynchburg, Virginia.
Okay.
Or that's where our families are from.
Okay.
But we've moved a bit.
Is that close to Hampton?
Not really. I mean, Virginia's small. It's not like Texas, so everything's kind of close.
Right.
Yeah, relation.
No, relatively. No, Hampton is a little more north.
Oh, really? Okay.
Let's see. Lynchburg, Charlottesville. Do you know where UVA is?
There's a military base right there close to Hampton.
So that's Norfolk. So we're more at the base of the foothill, the Blue Ridge. So we're the, if you look at Virginia and you've got the little pointy part and then you've got the little stick out part. Yeah. We're right where the pointy part and the stick out part meet at the base of the mountains there. That's the best way I can think to describe it.
That's awesome. Yeah, you're right. It's weird being in a state that's smaller than Texas whenever you're trying to describe things like that because everything is relatively close. But there's one main corridor, one big highway that goes from Norfolk all the way to Va Beach. And
Santa's coming after us, I see.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
So he got his beard fixed.
Tim,
what's
see
that?
if you're on the naughty list.
Well, we're recording. We got Santa Claus here with us. I didn't set a mic up for our audience today, but I don't want you talking too much because your beard might fall off, Santa.
Ho, ho, ho!
That is the mayor of River Oaks, Texas, right there.
Gonna get a photo.
All right, take a little photo here. Bring it in tight.
Put the trash.
Don't kick the power cord, whatever you do. Thank you.
Of course.
We got candy
Thank
canes.
you.
Thank you, Santa. Give it here. He almost took it back.
It's on the naughty list.
I was going to say, that's the naughty list for sure.
Huh? All right. Thank you, Santa. All right. Well, that's all we got as far as questions. Do you have anything else that you want to include before we get out of here?
No, I thank you guys for coming and for making people aware of what's going on. And I would encourage anybody who's interested to hop online and do a little research, come to a meeting, ask your questions.
Do you have a website that you would recommend for information?
You can start with the Heart Gallery's website, and they can kind of direct you from there. Like I said, there's lots of agencies in the area.
Yeah.
Gladney is just one of them. Gladney kind of focuses mostly on the adoption part. People who are looking kind of for foster, there's other agencies that they would look at. But, start with the Heart Gallery, and they can kind of direct you in the right way. And there's a phone number if you have questions, and they can help you get where you need to go.
We'll try to put that in the show notes for you guys. But also, we've done a lot of work with the Gladney Center, so if we don't get all the information that you need in this episode today, you can look back and find either episodes that are labeled Heart Gallery or Gladney Center or Tanya Houk. Those are the keywords you're looking for if you want to get any more information, because we've done probably 5 or 6 episodes pertaining to adoption here in North Texas. So
and
lots
if you're
of information.
a listener that's outside of Texas, the Heart Gallery is nationwide. I mean, they have them all across the country in the state of Texas. So for those listeners outside of Texas, outside of DFW, Heart Gallery is a good place to start.
Yeah, definitely. There's, I think, 5 or 6 different regional galleries in Texas, and then, like you said, every state has them.
Yeah.
So.
Very cool. Ashley, thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Megan.
Andrew.
Good morning. Good Sunday morning here from the Hulen Mall. How are you today?
I'm good. It's a little early. I need more coffee.
What a weekend we've had.
Yeah. Thanks for scheduling all of this.
You just kind of got to roll with the punches sometimes. I guess you don't always have a choice. So this weekend was pretty wild. Saturday we had our Christmas party. What happened Friday? Did something happen Friday?
I worked.
And I went to see. I went to Court Huang's performance.
Oh, yeah, that's right. But that was earlier. You were home by like 6 or 7.
No.
Yes.
No, I was not.
I will look at the cameras and tell you exactly when you got home.
I don't think that's accurate.
Okay.
Anyway, so while she's looking up hard information about her being wrong. Saturday, bright and early, made it over to Hoppen to set up for our Christmas party. I was there by about 10:15. And then we had a great turnout. It was Itchy Richie and the Burning Sensations album release party and our Christmas party for the Fort Worth Roots.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great time. Was not disappointed. And then right after that, packed up the gear, headed over to McFly's Pub for one of the craziest things I've ever seen in my entire life. Mexican crazy, this is how they market it, okay? This is not me saying this. Mexican crazy midget wrestling. And it was phenomenal. The parking lot at McFly's, first of all, their parking lot kind of extends past their property line.
Yeah.
Every place that someone could park a car, there was a car. I Ubered there, so not a problem. But damn.
Well, it was the same situation. Parking at Hoppen, I mean, parking lot was full, street parking was full.
Yeah.
I mean,
something else was going on, and I don't know who else was doing a thing, but
probably that Maple Branch. I feel like they're always doing something.
Well, they have such a big parking lot.
Do they?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
it's possible. It could be, but Maple Branch is a block over from Hoppen, so, but it could have been. Anyway, it's crazy.
You got home at 8:42.
Told you.
Okay.
Told you.
I felt like it was earlier than that. I was like, oh, he's home early.
I mean, it was early. I'm not usually home that early, but I was anticipating being home earlier than that. But we ended up running sound for court out of the Roadcaster. Need to get some extra implements for that hopping stage so that it's capable of more things. But now here we are, Sunday. I actually Ubered to the studio and stayed the night at the studio last night.
You didn't finish. So after you left McFly's, you went to Cicada.
That's correct. For Bikini Whales and the I'm forgetting the name of it. It's a big thing that hasn't happened in 5 years. Put on by Tony Diaz. Rock Assembly. The Fort Worth Rock Assembly. That's what it was. And you got a bunch of badass local bands that are doing covers of well-known international brand names, big bands, big covers.
Big band.
So it was really badass. I heard Friday night was really wild. I did not make it out to that one, but last night it was shoulder to shoulder, completely packed in there. Everybody's having a badass time. So shout out to John and Tyler out there at Cicada. You guys are keeping the Fort Worth live music scene alive out at the Cicada. Thank you. All right, so that gets us up to speed. Where are we?
Sunday.
After
early morning.
After 6 hours, 5 hours of sleep.
We're awake and we're back at it. And like you said, we are at the Hulen Mall today supporting the Gladney Center. They are doing a little Christmas Wonderland, Candyland.
For the kiddos.
For the kids. For the children.
So they've got this basically like an old toy store. You were saying it
looked like KB Toys.
It does look like a KB Toys.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I guess the idea is that the kids get to come through here and shop, right? Is that what's going on?
I have no idea.
That's what it looks like.
But they have like some gifts in there. It looks like they have a bunch of different arts and crafts. They have like a cookie making, cupcake station, photo booth, face painting, pictures with Santa Claus. Like there's a ton of stuff in there, and it's super cute how they decorated it up. So
and for those of you that know the mayor of River Oaks, Mr. Tanya Houk, he is dressed up like Santa Claus. And his wife, Tanya, is dressed up as Mrs. Claus.
I haven't seen Darren, adorable. But she's super cute.
Yeah, Darren looks ridiculous. He was in there trying to figure out how to get the mustache part of the beard around.
To stay?
Yeah. I was like, just grab it with your nose, man. Pinch it with your nostrils.
Like cheese alive.
Yeah. You're not the real Santa.
You're not the real Santa.
So, yes. I decided since we had some time to kill that we should do a quarterly report, which we decided at the beginning of this year we were going to do quarterly.
We done it?
No, we did it one time.
Biannually.
Yeah. So, anyway, it's been wild. Jesus, how crazy. The dream of taking Fort Worth Roots full time
has come to fruition.
Kind of got forced upon me as the people that bought the company I worked for drove the business into the ground. And on my last week at that business, I got 4 hours on my paycheck. So it was time.
It's been slowly dwindling. Oh, there's no work today. Oh, there's no work today. Okay, come in. Just kidding. Go home.
So now we just do Fort Worth Roots stuff, and it's been cool, man.
Yeah.
Weird hours.
I mean, you're working constantly. You leave the house by like 5 a.m. and you're not home most nights until like 9, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah. Usually come home, let the doggos out, and then get back after it. So
yeah.
But for anybody living the dream of being your own boss, you already know, like it's hard. It's lots of hours.
Especially in the beginning. I mean, you're trying to get everything up and running and get that income coming in.
Yeah. So
hustling it.
It's a grind. It's a grind every day. So, but we're doing cool stuff. We're making new friends and making meaningful connections. And I don't know. You would think when I was looking at Saturday's itinerary, I was like, this is going to be just nothing but fun. And it was. But, man, when I hit like 9:30, 10 o'clock, I was just over it. I'm like, it's not fun anymore.
So, Andrew did these things. I left after the Christmas party.
Yeah, but you stayed until 6:30.
Yeah, but I didn't go and see the midget wrestling and go to Cicada. I went home and I sat on the sofa with the dogs.
Which is our happy place.
Yes.
It's what we love.
So it was good. I did enough socializing for one day, and
these kids are currently shaking a fake tree. That is fake, right?
No.
Is that a real tree?
Yes.
I don't know if they're trying to get a coconut out of it. Or
so there's 2 palm trees growing out of the floor here at the mall, and
at least 35 feet tall.
It spans the 2 stories. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're standing at the base just shaking it, looking up, I was thinking about how cool it would be to walk up the 2 trees as far as you could because they're together.
I mean, sure. I don't think they would be stable enough to do that.
No. At some point, the tree's going to give.
Yeah. I mean, 2 children are able to shake it.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty weak.
Yeah.
All right. So
anyways.
projections for upcoming Fort Worth Roots shenanigans. Or should we talk about things that we've done this year?
Well, this is supposed to be a recap, so I guess we have to talk about stuff that we've done.
I don't even know where to start.
I don't either.
It has been
constant.
Just drinking from a fire hose. Well, we got hooked up with Hoppin'.
Yes.
About 3 months ago, and we have been doing comedy nights and scheduling.
The morning show.
The morning show has been a huge hit. I'm watching the analytics, and it's just a little bit more popular every time we launch a morning show episode, which is very rewarding because 5 years of doing Fort Worth Roots, and it's been somewhat stagnant. The number of listeners has kind of been fairly constant. We do most of our progress is on Instagram. That's where I see the numbers going up all the time for Fort Worth Roots is on Instagram. But the number of people that listen to the show, it's like we'll get new listeners and maybe some older listeners fall off, but it's been pretty consistent. And then we started the morning show, and it's like 5% more every week on the listenership. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so I'm glad we did it. It is a lot of work, but it's given us another way to invite guests on the show as well. I mean, they can either sit down and do a full long episode with us, or they can do a quick little morning version. But they got to get up real early. So, which I understand. I understand how much of an ask that is. Because I'm a morning person, and it's hard for me.
I mean, it's not bad, I guess, because once you do it pretty consistently, like that's your schedule.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know. Some mornings
For
it's
me,
rough.
go from my regular schedule to, okay, you want me there one morning. It's like, I'm going to need a few days to build up to that.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. We did our big event. October 5th out at Pouring Glory, which we didn't know at the time, but turned out to be our last show at Pouring Glory. Decided it was time to move on from our beloved Pouring Glory. We'd spent 3 years with them doing all sorts of events and trying to keep that place going. But that chapter has closed. But the event, October 5th, was amazing. We had a huge turnout. Great music. I'm amazed at how well the stage did and the sound. I was managing the soundboard that day, and we got it sounded pretty good.
Yeah. And somehow we still managed to do it on, like, one of the hottest days in, like, that 2-week span.
Listen to me. We are not doing any more outdoor events. That might mean smaller, tighter groups of people, but that's okay.
Yeah.
It's hard to find places where you can pack 500 people in.
Maybe we can rent the Sears.
That would be so cool. Only if they'll let us use the escalators. And we can charge for escalator rides.
Yeah.
Like $1 a
Who wants an
trip.
escalator ride?
Ooh, I do. That'd be really cool. But we'd have to make it like a Sears party.
Yeah.
Like, get people dressed up in Sears uniforms, like old school Sears uniforms.
I don't even remember what that looks like.
Wasn't it basically like the Best Buy, like blue shirt, khaki pants?
I have no idea. I
can't remember either. Could be a 1990s party. We'll get like a Blockbuster set up in there.
That'd be awesome. I like that idea.
That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Sitting here at the Hulen Mall, we're right in the middle of the walking path in between the stores, kind of set up kind of like a kiosk. We were sitting here earlier. I'm like, we should buy a mall. That'd be so cool. I would live in it.
I've seen some really cool projects where a lot of these malls that have closed for whatever reason, they're making them into like apartments.
They were talking about doing that with the what's the River Oaks Mall?
I don't know.
The Ridgely? No, that's not right.
Ridgemar?
Sorry.
You're close.
Anyway, they were talking about doing that to that mall.
Yeah.
And it's like they just can't decide what they're going to do, or they can't find funding. I don't know. This is one of those structures that one day you just hear about on the news that burnt to the ground.
Yeah. It's feature, in the post-apocalypse, and people come in and...
Don't do it, Santa.
It's over. Oh, no. Santa fights. Turf wars. The mall Santa versus...
Okay, we're up to 2. I didn't know we were going to be doing this, but today we're going to count to see how many Santa Clauses we can spot. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, I was thinking, like, you always see these shows where it's like, oh, they go to, like, what's this place? It's a mystery, and it's, like, taken over by wildlife and trees and shit's growing in there and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think it'd be really cool. I've seen one where they've transitioned. So each little storefront has now been like made into an apartment, and it still has like the atrium. Like, I think that'd be awesome. Like, I would totally live in a mall apartment.
What'd be cool is to do it like that, like high dollar condos or whatever. But like every unit is an old store. Like, what's your address? Blah 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 blah. I live in the Spencers.
Yeah.
Give them the address, and then it'd just be fun to say I live in the Spencers, or I live in the Victoria's Secret. I'm just in there playing with old titty bags, old bras, display panels, and
trying to find like a. Nope. Wait, where did I? See, look at the photo of it.
This historic shopping mall was converted into tiny. Oh, that is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks exactly the way you would expect, though, right?
Yeah.
Just literally looks like a mall that got converted into housing units.
It's so cool, like, and I think some of these, like this mall, and talk about like the Parks Mall, and Ridgemar, and we talked about, Six Flags Mall, which has since been bulldozed many years ago. But, I mean, they're larger malls where some of these stores are huge. I mean,
Yeah.
you could really get
You
it.
do anything.
Yeah. Have a fairly large apartment.
The thing about it, what y'all are hearing, is them opening up shop.
The arcade.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Appreciate it.
I got my water. Thank you.
Got a bottle of water from our Heart. Is that Heart Gallery?
Yeah.
Heart Gallery volunteer?
We're all wearing the same shirt.
Yeah, you are. I didn't want to wear one of those shirts because I have very sensitive nipples. Which is what I was prepared to tell that woman if she pushed the shirt issue. Because I don't want to wear their shirt. I have very sensitive nipples. Have you ever had to tape your nipples?
No.
I ran my first half marathon, and shortly after that I realized that cotton eats nipples.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. But when I got done running, I had streams of blood coming out of my nips.
I feel like any shirt, regardless of the material for guys, I mean, we wear sports bras as like women, so we have a little bit of nipple protection.
Mm-hmm.
But for men, you don't have anything. So any shirt is going to, as it rubs, as you move, is going to create friction and going to chafe the nips.
So those nylon shirts, like this might even be okay. This polo I'm wearing is kind of a nylon material.
But I think is like you sweat and it gets wet and you're moving, it's still going to cause that friction and it's still going to, maybe not as bad as a cotton shirt, but I think you're still going to have some nipple chafe.
I would challenge anybody to be a better source of information on nipple chafe than me, because I have. If you'll look over here to Exhibit A, I have
B.
permanent nip, like
Yeah,
permanip.
permanent.
I'm always nipping. I be nipping. Don't be tripping. I be nipping. There's some kind of lyrical bar there. Anyway, so yeah. As long as it's not cotton, it doesn't seem to be a problem. But I mean, like even a 50% cotton shirt will just eat your nipples right off.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is fun to say, because that statement in and of itself is a surprising statement. Eat your nipples right off.
Yeah.
You see how that like catches your attention?
And like every breastfeeding mother that's listening to this is like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Whatever. I just think it'd be a catchy tagline for any product. You're trying to get people's attention?
Yeah.
Go ahead, use it. I won't sue you for copyright infringement.
Too much.
Eat your nipples right off.
Nom, 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 nom.
We moved. Did we do the last quarterly report at the new house? I
don't
can't remember if that was before or
I mean,
after.
that was end of April that we moved.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember.
I don't remember doing the first one. So
Yeah. Well, we did. We moved.
yep,
We are now out in the country.
with all the cats.
And, cats. These cats are eating the siding off of the house. And so, anyway, if you know somebody that knows of a legal way to capture and destroy these cats,
Well, I mean, the neighbors are doing like the trap neuter release, but they
don't
only
release them.
But once they're neutered,
What?
they're not reproducing.
I don't give
So there's not going to be more.
Get them
kittens.
out of here. They are a nuisance. They are a pest. And I think
I feel like there are.
they might be
less than-
extensions of Satan. I think they're all demonic. We need to kill them with fire.
No, they keep the other pests down. It's a love-hate relationship.
$1,200. Do you know what that is?
I know what that is.
What is it, babe?
That was the cost for the AC repair under the house.
Those cats caused $1,200 in damage. And everybody wants to pretend like they're furry little bundles of joy that we just all love and must respect because of some unknown reason. Like
We're not respecting them like that, but they do take care of snakes and
How
mice.
do you know that? Have you ever seen one eat a snake or a mice?
Have you seen
Mices?
a mice or a snake's?
I have seen a snake.
I know you saw that giant snake out front.
I
but-
have seen armadillos,
Well, the dog caught the armadillo.
and I have seen evidence of possums. Opossums.
I want a possum.
I do want a possum.
Yeah.
Did you see were you with me at Cicada?
Yes.
Somebody brought the possum?
Yeah, it was a possum rescue, and his name was like Snowball or Snowflake or
He had a
something.
little bit of Down syndrome
He
or something because
did.
his eyes were all jacked up.
Yeah. It was some
And-
kind of like similar thing for like that species. And she's like, yeah, he does,
But-
actually.
Guys, was it me or you that brought it up? I was like, I don't want to be rude,
You
but there
did.
is something wrong with this possum. Like,
Yeah.
this thing doesn't look normal. And she's like, well, you're actually very observant. That's why we're able to keep the possum, is because it has a disability. Otherwise, the state wouldn't let us keep it. And I'm like,
Yeah.
what? I don't know. Wild, but super adorable.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently opossums eat a ton of bugs. So
Ticks is like the main thing. Like they eat thousands of ticks.
that's crazy.
Yeah, and their body temperature is too low to support rabies. So,
Yeah.
out of all the critters.
Yeah. So we're going to be at the Goodnight residence for the Goodnight estate.
Ooh, I like estate.
Yeah. Probably for another 4.5 years
Yeah.
as we plot our next move.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yes. I don't know. We've checked out North Carolina. That is a top contender. So,
I'm not about
Charlotte.
that. I'm not about that Charlotte airport. You people are living in the past and like fools at the CLT.
yeah.
And I want a shirt that says CLT Commander. And some people will get that reference and some people won't. And I won't care because I'll just be walking around loving my shirt.
Yeah.
CLT Commander. Yeah.
Yeah. What else do we do? What else?
We tried to go to Asheville
Well,
right
that
after
was
the hurricane.
the North Carolina trip. It was like
Yep.
a month later. We had to pivot on where we went, so we changed our Verbo Airbnb, whatever you want to, from Asheville to Winston-Salem, which was still a really cool place.
Yeah, it was really badass. I'm glad that we got to experience that because it was such a cool community. And Winston-Salem, I like that town.
Yeah,
Like,
it was a really cool town.
I could live there.
I could too.
It was beautiful. It was like very well maintained. Like I don't even know what I mean by that. It just felt like everything was in place.
But it was like, it was very well taken care of. The roads were nice. It was a city, but it was a small city. So like you could get anywhere in like 5 minutes.
And it had like a really, really oversized downtown.
Yeah.
Like for the population, I don't know. Did we look it up? It was like 400,000
I can't
or
remember.
350 or something.
I'll look right now.
For the population size of that town, their downtown area is stacked. It's wild. I don't even understand it. And the other thing is, I was surprised that the city was as big as it was.
252,000.
Okay. I was surprised that it was the size that it was, and I'd never heard of it.
Yeah, I'd never heard of it either. And that's like I was trying to find
So
somewhere.
crazy.
I was like, we are not staying in Charlotte. Like, no.
Mm-mm.
And so we had a rental car already
And Charlotte's gross.
planned. Yeah, I hate that place.
You know those people that are like, oh, don't talk crap about people's homes because it might upset somebody. If you live in Charlotte, you already know what I'm talking about. It's disgusting.
I feel like, yeah. I feel like the people that live there love it there.
Yeah, and I have talked to some people that actually live and work in Charlotte, and they were surprised at my opinion of their home, which I was surprised that they were surprised at my opinion because it's their home and they know it's garbage. So that kid is amazed at everything. There's this little baby that just had this look of absolute amazement as it
Well, there is
panned
this really
around.
huge, like, cool balloon arch.
I guess
at
that
the
is
entrance.
cool.
Yeah. I was really dazzling some little kid yesterday with my green hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who was it that walked up? I think it was Jeff Zero walked up and was complimenting your hair, and then you were like, yeah, it's a wig. And he's like, what? Oh, my God, it's such a great wig. And
I thought you dyed your hair. Like, I would love to, but I can't. I have to stay natural colors for work. So
At what time did Michelle peel off? Because I never saw her again.
maybe like at 5, a little before 5.
Did she tell me goodbye?
I don't think so.
That foul woman.
Her and her friend slipped out the door. Her rig was not staying on, so she was just like, you know what, I'm done.
I don't know how y'all could wear those. I would go absolutely insane.
Mine was on. Like, it was solid.
Yeah.
And when I took it off last night and like took everything off and let my hair down, like my head hurt for hours afterwards.
For sure. Okay. We've got another Santa. There's going to be a
I think
Santa
that was the
battle.
one that we saw up on the
Yeah,
at the
it
railing.
is for sure.
Yeah.
He's number 2. But I think we're going to have some issues here because we've got our buddy Darren inside who's dressed up as Santa. And I might, if I may, I think Darren looks way better as Santa Claus
I'm going to have to go in and see this after we're
than this common mall walker that we just saw.
common mall Santa.
Well, I think we should do a New Year's episode at some point and
Well, I think we're going
maybe work on projections.
Yeah, I think the plan is we're doing Jerry Jonestown Massacre the day before New Year's, I think.
Something
is their
like that.
thing. I work New Year's, so
Yeah.
and just maybe you.
You're going to get all this right with me.
All right. All right. Santa Claus, the common mall walker.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Anyways,
so there's our quarterly report, I think.
Didn't really tell you a whole lot, but
What else should we tell them before we go?
I don't know.
It's a blur,
we need
right?
To start, yeah,
We need to put notes together before we try to jump into trying
like
to
an outline.
recover 7 months worth of data.
I know.
Yeah, it's been a rodeo.
It has.
And on this day at the Hulen Mall, Andrew is really tired. So
Yeah.
I must have slept with my mouth open last night. I know I did a lot of yelling last night at the midget wrestling and at Cicada.
You also had been drinking starting at the Christmas party, so you're probably a little bit dehydrated. So there's probably a few factors that are going into this.
I got some water.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I took it real easy. Like by the time I left Hoppin', I was 100% solid, and then I parked the car and Ubered to McFly's, and that's when the boozing started, bub. That's when the boozing started. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even then, I had one drink at McFly's, and then I Ubered over to Cicada. I had 2 drinks at Cicada, and then that was it. I
Not
couldn't
that
take
bad.
it anymore.
Yeah. It was just a really long day.
Yeah, I'm beat. I'm so beat.
Yeah.
All right.
We're like no weekend this weekend.
That was it's one of my comments this morning. Was like, well, we didn't get a weekend.
Oh. And I mean, I'm off tomorrow, but I'm going to be baking Christmas cookies at Mom's house all day, so
Working like working like a Christmas elf.
yeah, but I did take off like the whole week of Christmas, so that's
Yeah.
going to be fabulous.
Yeah.
Do we have anything planned? No. Am I going to sit at home and do nothing for 12 days? Yes. I'm going to do I will be doing the morning show with you for the first time. No, wait, second time. I did it once before.
Yeah, that's right. That was before CLT.
Yeah, that was right before we left. And then that's the day after Christmas. I will be joining you at the butt crack of dawn.
So on your 12 days off, I get 1 day.
Yep.
Okay.
Enjoy.
Whatever.
Better enjoy it.
It's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we have tuna fish sandwiches and hard-boiled eggs to.
That made my stomach turn just now. Mom actually puts together a pretty good tuna fish salad type mix for the sandwiches. So
Yeah.
we got a text message from my mom yesterday, I guess, that said she was going to be preparing tuna fish sandwiches for us as a get-together option.
My whole gluten allergy is really throwing her for a loop.
Yeah, she doesn't know what to do, so she's like, tuna fish, hard-boiled eggs, and what else?
Cupcakes.
Gluten-free cupcakes. So, anyway, to all our gluten-free people out there, we understand the struggle.
Yes, the struggle is real.
Oh, you got a nice little tattoo yesterday.
I did get a tattoo yesterday.
From our Flash tattoo artist out there at Hoppin'.
Yep.
It turned out really good, babe.
No, it's really cute.
I love it.
Hello, key.
And it's very you.
Yeah.
So we'll have to come up with a firm idea of what we want our couple's tattoo to be, because that's going to be the first tattoo that we put on this body.
Yeah.
I've been a strong advocate for many years saying you don't put a bumper sticker on a Lamborghini. But I'm not really.
Good thing you drive a Toyota.
A Toyota Camry.
With a busted bumper.
Dang it. That's my ass you're talking about. All right. You want to tell them anything else before we get out of here on our quarterly report? Quarterly, not quarterly.
Yeah. I don't think so. I mean, we just have business as usual for the rest of the year. Nothing too crazy planned. So I think you have the New Year's Eve party at Hop-In.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really the only big thing that we have. Or you have, because I'm working that tonight.
Yeah.
Blasted.
Yep. New Year's is going to be wild.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well,
Okay.
Thank you for doing the quarterly report with me.
You're welcome.
Probably get some people on here, talk about adoptions and whatnot.
Yep. Give me one of those babies.
Come here, baby. All right. We'll talk to y'all later. Thank you for listening to this episode of Fort Worth Roots. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Guys, gals, thank y'all for joining us for yet another episode of the Fort Worth Roots podcast. If this is your first time joining us, we do a morning show as well. You can catch that Monday through Thursday. And we are covering information around the Fort Worth area. And I'm telling people as far east as Grand Prairie, as far north as Denton, as far south as Burleson, as far west as Weatherford, Texas, that, in our opinion, is the Fort Worth area. So if you have an event, if you're an artist, if you're gigging, if you have a birthday, we don't care. This is a community service. We want to be one of the connecting fibers inside the Fort Worth community. So we've been doing this for 5 years already, one episode a week, and it's been a challenge. It's been a struggle, but we love doing it, and we've met a lot of amazing people along the way, and we decided that it was time to double down. Triple, quadruple, how many? Anyway, a lot. We're doing 5 episodes a week now. So one regular episode, like the one you heard today, just now, and 4 extra episodes that we do in the morning, released by 8 a.m. and available to you, I believe, first on Spotify. But it does show up on all the different platforms as they update their directory. We launch it at 8 a.m. every morning. So you can get it on all of your favorite streaming services at some point throughout the day. If you want it first, if you need it early, you can get it at Spotify, or you can go straight to the source. You can go to our website, fortworthroots.com. And if you have an event, if you are a musician, you got a gig coming up, you're an artist, you're an author, you're anybody creating something here inside the greater Fort Worth area, send us an audio file of you talking about the event and email it to media@fortworthroots.com. Oh, man, it's been a busy couple of weeks, and there's a little bit of a backlog here, so we're going to put the pedal to the metal. We're going to start releasing several episodes a little bit outside of the schedule because we've missed a couple of weeks. But thank you guys for coming out. I just want you to know that I am so grateful whenever you guys show up to one of these events. A lot of times it feels like yelling out the window into the abyss or whatever, whenever we got one of these events going on. So whenever you walk through those doors, whether it be the Christmas party, our weekly comedy show, whatever, whenever you show up for one of those things, I just want you to know it makes my week, my month, my year. Thank you. We do a lot. We do a lot of events, so I don't expect you to make it to all of them. But just know that I am very grateful to those of you that show up, show your support, be part of the community with us. Thank you. And for those of you that have events going on and you want me to show up, holler at me. Let me know. I do my best to make it to as many events as I possibly can because I know how important it is. I know how much it means to the people putting these things on. So let me know if I can ever show up. Maybe I can't stay for the whole thing, but maybe I can take some video and just show people that there's things going on in the community, and they should be proud that we have such a vibrant Fort Worth culture. And that's my goal whenever I show up. Maybe I can't stay the whole time, but I do want to point the spotlight on you and give you props for putting on a show, an event, a gig, because it's time consuming. It takes a lot. So anyway, thank you. And we will have more awesome stuff. 2025 is going to be insane. The music series that we're compiling for you for this upcoming season is going to start in March. It's going to roll through October. We're going to have 3 bands on stage at each one of these events. We did 1 band on stage in 2024. We're going to triple that. We're going to put together a bill every month, and we're going to do it hopefully at different locations. I've already got four locations, and I'm still looking for a couple more. Right now, we're in the planning phase. We will be in the planning phase through January, I'm sure. But I want to make sure that the details are wrapped up no later than end of January. So anyway, if you are a local business owner or just an individual and you would like to help support the Fort Worth Roots podcast, our music series, the Fort Worth Roots brand, let me know. We do need sponsors. Getting funding is always the biggest issue. It's the hardest thing to tackle, and it takes up a lot of time. And once we reach our financial needs, then that just leaves more time for creativity, getting out there and supporting the community, hitting up different venues and showcasing local businesses. So I'll be glad. I don't know if this day ever will arrive, but I will be so thankful and glad whenever we reach our financial goals so that we can keep the show going. And I don't have to really worry about finding new sponsors. And we can just keep going with the creativity and supporting the community. That's going to be a really awesome day. So speaking of, let's get into these sponsors real quick. Our newest one, Fort Worth Float Company. Is your day filled with noise and distractions? Whose isn't? Overstimulating sounds and activity. Our daily lives have become overwhelmed with tasks and responsibilities with very few ways to shut off the world for a brief moment. Welcome to Fort Worth Float Company. They specialize in providing sensory deprivation flotation tanks, providing the ultimate relaxation experience, offering various pricing and packages. And I think they have 3 tanks now. This says 2 tanks. I think they might have 3. Anyway, we'll say 2 for now. Fort Worth Float Company meets everyone's floating needs. One of the float tanks is it's a room. Inside of a room, but there's enough space in there for 2 people to float together without touching each other, I believe. It's huge. I got a video of it on our Instagram where we have one of the customers is actually sitting in the big one telling us about why they do the float and what it means for them or how it's helped them with stress and other issues. So anyway, it's cool. I've done it. It's been years since I've done it. So I am actually going up there today to schedule an appointment with Fort Worth Float Company because I'm ready to get back in one of those tanks. It's a pretty cool experience. If you haven't done it yet, you should definitely try this out because it's unique. And you know what is life except to experience as many unique experiences as possible. Experience. There, I said it again. All right. Fort Worth Float Company, and you can find them as that name on Instagram and Facebook. They're located off of River Oaks Boulevard. What's a good landmark? If you're on River Oaks Boulevard, you're driving away from the main entrance of the base towards the stockyards. It's on your left-hand side right as you come into River Oaks proper. There's a 7-Eleven on the left-hand side that used to have gas pumps but doesn't anymore. And the River Oaks sign is on the right. There's a shopping center right there, Eduardo's Bakery, and I believe a State Farm agent, and there's a couple other little shops there. But you could miss it. You could definitely miss it, but it's kind of set back off the road. You can see it clearly, but there's a big parking lot in between the street and the shop. And inside, from outside, it doesn't look like there could possibly be this much going on in there. But lots of room for activities. They've got an infrared sauna, a cold plunge tank that whenever I was there the other day, it was sitting at 44 degrees. He said typically it's a little bit lower than that, but he had just changed out the water the day before, and it was still chilling it. So, and then they got the float tanks. It might just be 2 float tanks. Maybe it is. Anyway, one is like regular size float tank. Looks like a little spaceship. And then maybe that's what's flying around New Jersey right now. Those aren't drones. Those are float tanks. Maybe. And then the larger one. So anyway, go check it out. Tell them that you heard about it on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. And maybe we can work out some kind of little discount for you guys. I'll talk to him about that today. But this is cool. I think everybody should try it at least once. If not, plugging it into your daily routine. But I think spinal decompression is probably going to be my big win there. If you got back problems, this seems like it would be a really good way to alleviate back issues. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. Check it out, Fort Worth Float Company. Hoppin', we do the morning show every day, well, Monday through Thursday. Every time you hear us pop on for the morning show, we are at Hoppin'. It's a brand new place. Nobody knows about this yet, unless you've come out there to see me. But it's only been around for about 4 months now, maybe just shy of that. But they got 58 taps on the wall, seltzers, wines, beers, all good stuff. Local stuff, craft stuff, and some mainstream stuff like Lone Star. I know you can pour yourself a pint of Lone Star for like $1.80. So cheap. I don't know of a cheaper place in town to get a beer. But it's not just about cheap beers. They got all the good stuff too. And then they've got a full cocktail bar with our buddy Ray, most of the time, is behind that bar serving up some badass drinks. So there's drink specials, I think, every day. I know that Monday is service industry day, but I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly, Michael was telling me that every day is service industry day. If you go in there and you tell them that you're service industry, I think you get a discount. But Mondays, it is clearly listed on the schedule. Monday is service industry day, 25% off. So I don't know. You do the math on that. Lone Star, $1.80 for a pint. And then go ahead and take 25% off of that. Bro, it does. I don't think it gets any cheaper. So anyway, it's a badass place. Let's stop talking about how cheap it is. The patio outside has a fire pit. We had that thing blazing on Saturday right as we were wrapping up the event. Always something going on out there. Michael and Holly, I need to get them in front of the camera because they are the 2 nicest people. Very sincere folks. Got a new baby. Just family people trying to do a cool thing in Fort Worth. And of course, just like every other business in town, they need your support. So come on out. I tell people all the time, I'll have an armband on. There'll be music on the stage. I'll be buying drinks for the band. I'll be buying drinks for Megan, buying drinks for myself, and I'll walk out with a $20 tab. It's crazy. So if you're looking for like a low-key way to just have a cheap night with a lot of fun injected into it, this is the place. We do a comedy show there every Wednesday now. Let's see, the last Wednesday show is going to be on the 18th, and then there's 2 holidays. It's Christmas is on a Wednesday, and then New Year's is on a Wednesday. So we're going to skip those 2, and then fire it back up in January. Every Wednesday night is comedy with our buddy Anthony Reyes with Cockpit Comedy, and a bunch of just hilarious guys from all over North Texas coming in to do an actual comedy show, and then we roll right into kind of an open mic setup. We've got myself and Tony off to the side of the stage, and as the comedians get done, we do just a really brief interview and then call up the next comedian. It's a lot of fun. People are really enjoying it, and if you're looking for a way to get out of the house on a Wednesday night, we'd love for you to stop by. It starts at 8. We got Mama Lou's Kitchen on scene, slanging that excellent Fort Worth delicacies. I don't know if she's made this announcement, so I don't know that I can say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. She might not be doing a whole lot of tamales in the future. I don't think she's ever going to get away from it, but she is trying to diversify her menu because she said she'll get up at like 7 a.m. If she gets up at 7 a.m. and starts making tamales, she can have a batch done by 10 o'clock at night. It's a lot of work. And I had somebody come up to me at the last comedy show, and I was like, "Did you get the tamales?" And they were like, "Man, I can't. I'm not going to spend that much on the tamales." So she had other stuff that you could order, and it's equally delicious, but it's not tamales. And so the price point, even as at where she's got it, people are complaining about the price being too high for some of those tamales, even though she has other cheaper options. So because of that, and because of the just absurd amount of time it takes to make these tamales, she's going to start diversifying her menu to kind of get away from tamales. I'm sure she will still, don't freak out, I'm sure she's still going to do tamales. But what she's telling me is like, you don't make any money off these tamales. You can't. It's too much. It takes too much time. So anyway, all that to say, there's still going to be great, excellent, wonderful delicacies from Mama Lou's Kitchen. But the tamales might be a little more scarce. I'll keep you up to date on that. But she will be there. There are also other food options. We want you to eat Mama Lou's on Wednesday night, but there's also other food options at Hoppin' when you get there. And, of course, it's bring your own food if you'd like. You can order something from M&O Grill right down the street. Bring it with you. Literally, you can walk there. It's right there, walking distance. Or Maple Branch, 1 block north of us from Hoppin'. Excellent food there too. And Maple Branch will actually deliver it on a golf cart. You can order it from Hoppin' and they'll bring it over. But get it in your head, Mama Lou's on Wednesday nights. And we want this to be the new Fort Worth home of comedy on Wednesday nights. We'll let everybody else decide where the home of comedy in Fort Worth is any other night of the week. But on Wednesdays, we want you with us. And that's for comedians and people that just like to watch people bomb. It's my favorite. We've actually had a lot of really good comedians up there. Not a lot of bombing, which is disappointing. But every once in a while, we get somebody that just really, really bombs. And that is so much fun. All right, so that's Hoppin'. It's next to Doc's Records. It's wonderful. Come see me. Come check it out. I don't have to be there. You can go without me. It's a great place to unwind for your next big event. Yeah, they do a lot of stuff for events, too, also. So, what is this? Why is that showing my phone number? That has my phone number on it. Call during our recording. Oh, because we're talking about the show. Yeah, I do the morning show there. So anyway, if you ever want to get your information on the morning show, you got an event happening around town, call us at 817-988-1292, and you can leave us a voicemail. We'll play it on the show. I'd much rather you do it the right way. Take your phone. It's got an audio recorder on it, and just record yourself talking about your event. And then take that file and send it to me, media@fortworthroofs.com. Okay, onward. The Davis team. Need information on how to build wealth through real estate? Maybe you're getting ready to buy or sell a home in North Texas? Look no further than our friends at the Davis team. They've already sold 2 homes for us at the Fort Worth Roots and helped us find and close on our most recent home purchase. We wouldn't have accepted any other offer of sponsorship from a realtor in Fort Worth because in the back of our minds, we would have always known the best was still out there. No commitment necessary. If you have questions about property, then visit them online, yourdavesteam.com, or give them a call, 817-755-0504. And I mean that. They sold 2 homes for me. And I've got stories about what happens whenever you have an agent that either doesn't know what they're doing or maybe they're too busy to do their job right. But the Davis team has, it's either 12 or 13 full-time agents on staff, and everybody has their own lane. So you got one person that handles this, one person that handles that, so on and so forth. And the end result is you've got no matter what you're doing, no matter where the market's at, your best chance of selling or buying a home is with the Davis team. End of story. Again, that's yourdavesteam.com, or give them a call, 817-755-0504. And they're not just there to sell and buy. They're also there to answer questions. So if you've got a property question, give them a call. They'll help you out. Amplify 817. Craving quality music right here in Fort Worth? Visit amplify817.org to browse and stream a growing collection of commercial-free local music wherever you are. Do your ears a favor and discover your new favorite local group today on amplify817.org. It is a service of the Fort Worth Library, sponsored in part by community donors to the Fort Worth Public Library Foundation. which pays local artists up front to feature their music on the platform. We love that. They don't have to wait to get 100,000 downloads before they see some money. Amplify 817 pays them up front. Shout out to those people. Good folk over there at the Amplify 817 office. Galaxy Wilderness Disc Golf. My buddy that runs this business over here, Galaxy Wilderness Disc Golf, me and him go way back, and he's just a good dude, a family man, and was trying to find a way. I feel like most business owners get to this point. It happened to me too. I was doing something else at a different business, and it was killing me. It was driving me nuts. So I went and found something that I really love doing, hence the Fort Worth Roots podcast. But he went a different route. He went with disc golf, and he is extremely passionate about this. And he's got all sorts of cool options. Basically how it works, you contact him. You tell him, hey, I got this thing I'm doing, whether it's XYZ. I want you to bring out your disc golf stuff and set it up for me so we got somewhere to play disc golf on my property or at this event space or whatever. And say you need it for a day. Cool. He'll come out there, set it up, and then when you're done with it, he'll break it down and take it with him. They've also got night disc golf where the baskets glow, the discs glow. It's really, really rad stuff. So probably not something you ever thought of. I wouldn't have thought of this either. But this is a really cool addition to any event that you might be having. You can have it for multiple days. You can have it for, I believe you can do it for just one day. But anyway, highly customizable. He's got course options, and he knows how much you can pack into a certain space. He's got an eye for this. So, if you just want one basket, I think he's got a program for that. If you can handle 10, he's got a program for that. Their number is 682-228-0399. You can also get them through the Gmails, galaxywildernessdg@gmail.com. You can also get them on Facebook. Just look for Galaxy Wilderness Disc Golf. Cool. The Body Scrubbery on Instagram as The Body Scrubbery. Online at thebodyscrubbery.com. Also can reach them by phone for appointments, 925-808-8222. A boutique and unique spa experience. Don't cheat yourself, treat yourself. Luxury foot spa, full body scrubs, infrared heat wraps, massage, bubble tub, mud wraps, facials, couples packages, and small group parties. Go online to find the Book Now tab at thebodyscrubbery.com. We've got videos of this place on our Instagram and our TikTok for as long as that's going to be around. Looks like we got about a month left before TikTok gets the plug pulled. Anyway, go find these videos with me and Michelle goofing around. I'm going to try to post another one today. But it's such a cool little spot, and it's off of Pennsylvania Avenue, right down there, close to the South Main area. I guess that is South Main area, but it's not on South Main. It's on Pennsylvania. Anyway, rad little spot. Wonderful place to relax and get yourself some of that, what do you call that, personal care that you probably need. It's also a great gift idea. If you're struggling right now, we're in the holidays, you're trying to figure out, oh my God, I need like just a few more gifts. What am I going to do? The Body Scrubbery is a great option. Consequently, our buddies at Fort Worth Float, they also have some Christmas deals going right now. All of our sponsors would be happy to fix you up with a gift for your loved one. So keep them dollars local, man. The Body Scrubbery, located at, I don't have the address in front of me. It's off of Pennsylvania Avenue, South Main area. And their website is thebodyscrubbery.com. Go check them out. Flurry Fitness, they're on Instagram as Flurry Fitness Fort Worth, located at 643 Sherry Lane, Fort Worth, Texas, just in front of the military base next to Target and directly behind the Waffle House. Let them know you heard about them on the Fort Worth Roots podcast and see if they're still running a special. When we started this up, they were going to waive your sign-up fee. I don't know if we're still doing that, but it's a cool little spot. It's a great workout. Put the gloves on, hit that bag, and go through one of these guided cardio fitness classes. It's fun. It's a great way to get your blood pumping and do the whole exercise thing without really feeling like you're doing exercises, I think is probably the way I would put that. But it is a rad little concept. And our buddy Andy over there, if he hasn't already done it, he was talking about getting ready to launch their second location. And they've only been doing this for about 2 or 3 years, and they're already working on their second location. So you know they're doing something right. That's Flurry Fitness. Find them on the Instagram as Flurry Fitness Fort Worth. Boulevard Brew. Our buddy Brad over there is always ready to open his doors and get you some wonderful coffee treats. They've got food items, gluten-free stuff on the menu, which is a big hit with Megan and the rest of our gluten-free community. I call it the mullet. It's business in the front, party in the back. You got the coffee shop in the front, and then on Friday nights, they've got live music, taps on the wall, and I don't know if he does cocktails or not. I know he's got craft beer and wine available back there. I'm going to go ahead and say no on the cocktails. I don't think he does that. But good options on beer, great options on wine, and it's the vibe, man. It's a good little chill spot. I go there most Sundays, and I'll post up in there, and I will get so much work done. Just something about the cozy environment and me being in front of the laptop at a third-party location. I seem to get more done in a short amount of time right there at Boulevard Brew. It's a cool spot. Okay. Go check that out. River Oaks Boulevard, 5406 River Oaks Boulevard, in between Atomic Then and Now and Josephina's Mexican Cafe. And tell Brad you heard about it here first. BoulevardBrew.com online. And it's Boulevard Brew on all the social medias. Eaton Data Solutions. We work to have relationships with vendor partners who specialize in different methods of vulnerability detection and management so that we can offer enterprise tools and solutions to small and medium-sized companies. What does that mean? Mr. Eaton, Richard Eaton, has been doing this kind of work for Fortune 500 companies for a very long time. What happens is these cyber assholes will come and they will steal your data, they'll encrypt it, and then they'll try to sell you a code to get back into your files. Now, this is a problem because we're talking about everything from baby pictures, payroll, tax information, everything. If it was stored inside a thing, they got a hold of it and it's theirs now. And sometimes if you pay for this encryption code, you'll get your data back. And sometimes you won't, and they'll just run off with your money. But if they do give it back to you, they're going to try to do this entire maneuver again to you or someone in your network. It just doesn't stop, and it's bullshit. But it is a real thing. And you'd hear about this like IBM or AT&T, the big companies. Well, now they're targeting small businesses, and I'm a small business, so probably need to go ahead and schedule an appointment with our buddies at Eaton Data Solutions. You can find them online at eatondatasolutions.com. They have a drop-down menu for schedule an appointment. And trust me when I tell you that if anybody could protect you from this type of malarkey, it's our buddy Richard Eaton at Eaton Data Solutions. All right, Roofing Solutions by Darren Houk. Roofing Solutions can help you with residential or commercial roofing needs, locally owned and operated. They're insured, and they carry out just about every kind of roofing project you can think of. They can help you go through the steps with your insurance company, and they can do all the stuff. Blah, blah, blah. Anyway, here's what you need to know. You're not going to think about a roofer until it's too late. That's a fact. We live in North Texas, and these roofs get damaged daily with the extreme heat, the wind, tornadoes, hail. This is the trifecta right here in North Texas. This is one of the hardest places to have a roof. You really need to get somebody up there once a year and do a roofing tune-up. And that sounds real pitchy, real salesman-like. But what they do is they get up on your roof. Are you going to do that? Because I'm not getting up there. They get up on your roof and they take a look, make sure there's no damage that's going to allow water to get into your home and destroy everything that you hold dear. But they're also going to seal up your pipe jacks. That's a thing. If you can picture the caulking around like your windows or anywhere you see that kind of sealant, after 12 months of getting beaten by North Texas sunlight, that stuff starts to crack and peel and chip away. Well, and then the water gets in, and that's bad. You don't want that. So doing these little roofing tune-ups can save you a ton of money down the road. Our buddies at Roofing Solutions will give you 50% off one of these roofing tune-ups if you just tell them you heard about it on the Fort Worth Roots podcast. Their phone number is 817-882-6520. RoofingSolutionsHouk.com is the website. And the reason I was like, blah, 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 who cares? Because they do everything. They do residential. They do commercial. So what other details do you need? The other details you might want are the ratings. You can go on Google or any other rating service and see that they carry the highest rating in North Texas. There might be some other ones out there that are comparable, but probably not the same way that Roofing Solutions is, because not only has he been in the community for 15 years and worked up a stellar reputation with the local community, his dad did it before him. This whole family has just been taking care of people's roofs here in the Fort Worth area for a very, very, very long time. They've got a brick and mortar location. You don't see that very often with these roofers. It's right at the corner of Yale and Meandering, just inside the River Oaks area. And on top of that, they're great people. I was with Darren and his wife yesterday up at Hulen Mall, supporting the Gladney Center for Adoption and the Heart Gallery of North Texas. Darren was dressed up like Santa Claus, and he could not get like the mustache part of the beard to stay on his face. It was adorable. And his wife was dressed up as Mrs. Claus. I'm telling you, these folks are they're the best people. I'm so glad that I met them. And whatever they do, whether it's fixing people's roofs for a couple of decades or whatever else, I'm here to support these guys because you don't meet good people like them very often. Roofing Solutions by Darren Houk, 817-882-6520. Woodpost Metalworks, online at woodpostmetalworks.com, specializing in metal signs with or without LED backlighting, fence and gate repair and installation, light steel fabrication, industrial plasma cutting, and more. Use special code podcast817 at checkout for 10% off. If you guys are driving by the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio, which is consequently attached to Roofing Solutions by Darren Houk, how's it go? Roofing Solutions by Darren Houk. Anyway, we're on Yale and Meandering. We got one of these big old badass Woodpost Metalworks signs hanging off the front of the studio, and it's been really cool. I wanted this so bad because we have street curbside, people drive by, and so I wanted a big old pretty sign, and it took us a while to scrounge up the change for it, but we got it, and it looks amazing, and it hasn't faded a bit. It's just sitting there doing its job. I think that's been there for a year and a half now. And I mean, it looks flawless. They did such an incredible job, and the owner is very creative. And I was able to give him just kind of a rough idea of what I wanted, and he put it together, and it looks great. It's Woodpost Metalworks, and they can either make you a big badass sign for your man cave. Most of what they do are for local businesses, putting up signs on big buildings. So. Whatever your imagination. If it needs to be industrial plasma cut, they can do it and do a great job in the meantime. Houk Walker Originals, started by David Walker and Angie Houk Walker. They both have creative original ideas. David, because using, I took this off their website. David uses the lathe to create pins, bottle stoppers, bowls. David was taught to be a wood turner by his grandfather. Angela loves to paint. Use a kiln for glass fusing, and many other crafts. Go to houkwalker.com and take a look at all the cool stuff they got. Keep the Fort Worth dollars in Fort Worth pockets, I always say. Just kind of scanning through here. I feel like, where is McFly's? McFly's is not on my list of things that we need to talk about this morning. McFly's Pub is a 1980s Back to the Future themed bar. It is located down the street from the Fort Worth Roots podcast studio, and it is one of the best places to catch a live event. This weekend, if you've been listening to the show, I might have talked about this already. You might have heard me talk about it. They call it Crazy Midget Wrestling, and I only call it that because that's what the entertainers call it. It is their show. They do the marketing for it. They got to choose the name, not me. It was the craziest turnout I've ever seen at anything ever to happen at McFly's. The parking lot, there was not one spot where you could have parked a moped. It was packed, man. And it was really cool. It was so cool. And I got to talk to some of the athletes, and just the coolest, funniest people you've ever met, man. And I hope I get to see that again real soon. I asked around, I talked to some folks. They said these guys are straight out of Mexico. Like, it's not something you can see every week. So I don't know, man. I talked to Dan, the new owner out there at McFly's, and I was like, man, we need to have this every night of the week. He's like, I know it. So that'd be hard to do, but so cool. So very cool. All right. I'm going to have to go through this list again to make sure I'm not missing anybody. But I think we got everybody. I believe we did. And then we've got some new sponsors right around the corner, dropping at the beginning of the year, just waiting on some final details. A friend of ours has a new business that he is putting together. I can't wait to tell you more about this. But for all of our musician friends out there, if you have a business and you need customized, he's going to get on to me if he hears this. I don't have a list of everything he can do. Basically, he said if it's got a large enough surface to put your logo on it, then he can do it. But something he specializes in is T-shirts. But not only that, he's going to be putting together websites for folks and just trying to be a one-stop shop for the small business owner, the local musician that needs these things. He's going to do it all. So really looking forward to the launch date for that. Need to get some more details from him. I don't think he has a name for his company yet. But he's already building a website. He's building the Fort Worth Roots podcast website. And I told him to keep podcast out of his mouth. Don't call it a podcast. We've been doing too much to keep calling this thing a podcast. All right, folks. My God, this is the longest outro I've ever done. We're at 34 minutes. I really appreciate you. I want you to know that with all sincerity. Oh man, it's been a wild couple of weeks. Just had a death in the family, and I just want you guys to know that I am very, very grateful for every single one of you that has helped me get through this Fort Worth Roots thing. It's been an uphill battle every day. I don't know if it looks like that from the outside. I certainly hope it doesn't look like that, but damn. It's a whole thing. Anybody that's in business for themselves, they feel the same way. Check on your small business owners. They're not okay. But thank you. Thank you for listening. If you've ever shared a post, if you've ever come to one of our events, if you ever hit that like button, thank you. That's it for today. And I'll see you on the next episode. Thanks, guys.